Nestled in the arms of tall hills was an old peaceful village. In the soft morning sun, the rooftops shimmered like gold. At the heart of the village stood an old well, long dried and forgotten by most. Once, it had been the lifeline of the people, a place of gathering and gratitude. Now it was seen as just an empty stone ring. Children played around it, and elders sat nearby sharing memories of its golden days. Some still believed that the well once held baraka, a blessing, and quenched the thirst of all who came. But times changed. Villagers began fetching water from nearby streams and rivers. One day, a curious child asked his grandfather, "Dada, do you think this well will ever come back to life?" The grandfather smiled gently, gazing at the well. "My son," he said, "sometimes life returns. All it needs is an act of kindness." A few days later, dark clouds gathered over the village and the scent of rain filled the air. Villagers hurried to prepare their homes and fields, full of hope and joy. But the old well remained silent, untouched by the excitement. Grandfather sat beside the well with his grandson. The boy asked, "Dada, will the rain fill this well again?" He smiled gently. "Rain helps, my child, but true change comes from intention and prayer." Just then, a poor farmer approached carrying 2 small clay pots. He sat quietly by the well, whispering a heartfelt prayer. "O Allah, if this well comes back to life, it will ease the hardship for all of us." He then stood and left, his steps slow and steady. Grandfather watched and said, "You see, my son, sometimes a silent kindness opens great doors." At last the rain arrived. Cool drops kissed the earth, and a sweet scent rose into the air. The fields drank deeply, and the trees danced with joy. Villagers offered prayers of gratitude, but the most curious thing happened after the rain. The soil around the old well turned soft. The next morning, Grandfather and the boy visited the well again and noticed a faint dampness. Grandfather bent down, touched the earth, and smiled. "This is no ordinary moisture," he said. "It's the first sign of hope." The boy watched, eyes wide with wonder. Just then, the same poor farmer returned, this time holding an old metal mug. He walked quietly around the well, gently sprinkling a few drops of water on the stones. "This is water of prayer," he whispered. "Maybe Allah will listen." Grandfather nodded softly, and the boy smiled, this time from the heart. A strange calm settled around the old well, as if the air still held the echo of whispered prayers. The next morning, a few villagers gathered near the well with Grandfather. All eyes were fixed on the stones. Suddenly, a farmer pointed. "Look there!" he called out. Everyone leaned closer. A single drop of water was dripping from the stone rim of the well. Grandfather stepped forward and examined it carefully. "This isn't just water," he said. "It's a promise, nature's reply." The boy peeked inside. Deep within, a faint shimmer of moisture glowed. Faces lit up with wonder and hope. Some lifted their hands in silent prayer. The same humble farmer stood still, his eyes moist with emotion. Grandfather whispered, "When Allah gives, He gives with feeling." We remembered the forgotten well, and our Lord remembered us. In the days that followed, a quiet transformation took over the village. People came daily to the old well, cleaning around it, trimming bushes, fixing the stones. It felt like they were restoring a lost blessing. Children came cheerfully carrying ropes and buckets. Though no water had surfaced yet, their hearts overflowed with hope. Grandfather sat by the well each day, observing silently. The boy asked, "Dada, why is everyone working so hard even though there's no water yet?" He replied, "Sometimes before a prayer is answered, effort is required. When our intention is pure, Allah opens the way." The humble farmer also came daily, holding a small jug. He sprinkled a few drops of water on the stones, a quiet act of worship, now part of his daily life. One morning after Fajr, a sudden stir rippled through the village. A farmer shouted, "There's a sound from the well." Everyone rushed in surprise. Grandfather, the boy, and the same humble farmer were the first to arrive. They leaned over the well, listening closely, and there it was, a gentle splash. Water was slowly rising from the bottom. For a moment, silence filled the air. Then a woman whispered a joyful prayer, "Ya Allah, thank you." Tears welled up in many eyes. Grandfather held the boy's hand and said, "See, patience always bears fruit." The boy gently lowered the bucket into the well. For the first time, it came back up filled with water, cool, clear, and full of life. The humble farmer fell into prostration on the ground. A new light, a new hope, and a new life had returned to the village. After water returned, the entire village felt transformed. Smiles bloomed on every face and every tongue uttered gratitude. Villagers didn't just draw water anymore. They gathered near the well to pray and reflect. Children giggled as they carried full pots home. Elders sat near the well, sharing stories. It wasn't just a well anymore. It had become a heart that brought people closer. One day, Grandfather said, "This well may be old, but we remembered it in time, and it gave us new life." The same humble farmer now quietly filled water for others. People would thank him with kind prayers, and he would just smile in return. The village had learned to stand together, not only for water but for each other. That was the real change sparked by the old forgotten well. A new tradition had taken root in the village. Every week people gathered around the well, not just to fetch water but to help one another, talk, and build new friendships. Grandfather explained that the well was a symbol of kindness and gratitude. When we did small acts, Allah rewarded us with great blessings. The villagers' eyes sparkled with thankfulness and hope. Children played, women smiled, and elders prayed. The water from the well had revived not just bodies but hearts too. Meanwhile, the humble farmer stood near the well, his eyes filled with pride and peace. The village's spirit of love and brotherhood had deepened. Everyone knew this was all possible because of an old well and sincere hearts. Months passed. The well was no longer just a source of water. It had become the village's identity. Each day, someone came there to pray, give thanks, or do a quiet good deed. Grandfather had grown ill, but he still came to sit by the well. The boy asked, "Dada, what if the well had never existed?" Grandfather smiled. "Then maybe we'd have never come together again." That day, the boy placed a sign near the well. "Love, patience, and kindness. This is the spirit of the well." Everyone helped place it with care. In the final scene, the farmer, the boy, grandfather, and all the villagers stood together. Peace rested on their faces, and gratitude shone in their eyes. An old place had given new life, and sincere hearts had made a village into a family. The well was now more than a spot. It was a lasting lesson. Moral of the story: this story teaches us never to consider anything, or anyone, useless or forgotten. Sometimes, the oldest things and the smallest acts of kindness create the greatest change. Patience, gratitude, and sincere goodness, when done from the heart, open the doors to divine blessings. The old well became more than a source of water. It became a symbol that united a broken village. Love, unity, and sincerity gave life to emptiness. When we care for others without expecting anything in return, nature itself opens new paths. True change doesn't come from outside. It comes from within, through softness and goodness of heart.